From the Arc de Triomphe to the Champs-Élysées and the 3,000-year-old obelisk, Paris is a veritable fountain of culture, a city of enduring symbols, a city known for distinctive style, museums, theaters, architecture, and now archery. For many people, this is the most beautiful and romantic city in the world, with an iconic landmark everywhere you look. Tourists flock to the French capital to take in the sights of this city of light. They come to cruise the River Seine, sample the cuisine, and simply stare in wonder. And for one weekend in September, in the shadow of La Tour Eiffel, many of the world's best with a bow and arrow would turn the French capital into the capital of World Cup archery. Mexico's Alejandra Valencia had come to try and improve upon a pair of fifth-place finishes at the two prior World Cup finals in Turkey and Tokyo. Her opponent, Zhu Yunzheng, came seeking revenge after losing to Valencia at Stage 4 in Poland. Valencia leads 4-2 in the fourth set. The former world champion from Korea was number 1 in the world 3 years ago, but in the quarterfinals, Zhu was no match for Valencia, who quickly and confidently put an end to this affair, putting an exclamation point on a 6-2 victory to knock out Zhu Yunzheng. Meanwhile, Mexico's Aida Roman came to Paris with impressive credentials. She had won a silver medal in London at last year's Summer Games, losing the gold medal in a shoot-off with Korea's Kibo Bay. Here in Paris, she would face the formidable Deepika Kumari of India. Kumari would jump out to a commanding 5-1 lead after 3 sets, quickly putting Roman on the ropes. The Olympic medalist would struggle coming down the final stretch, allowing Kumari to cash in despite an 8 on her final arrow. Deepika's pleased, but only for a moment. She knows full well there's a lot more work to be done. Cui Yuan did some strong shooting at Stage 2 in Antalya, the 21-year-old Chinese archer picking up a pair of gold medals in Turkey. Her foe from the Russian Federation also found some magic in Medellin. Ina Stepanova stepping up and winning Stage 3 for her first gold medal in almost 2 years. Down 5-3 in the fourth set, Stepanova sticks at 10. But Cui just needs to split the set, split the points, and the match is over. China's rising star wins this quarterfinal by the count of 6-3 and waits to find out whom she'll face next. She would not have to wait long for the answer. Cyrielle Coutry of France was a wild card entry allowed the host nation. Happy to be here, of course, but overmatched against the likes of Yoon Ki of Korea. A dominant figure on the World Cup scene this summer, Yoon took a quick 4-0 lead over Coutry, who barely had a chance to say bonjour before it was all over. Yoon Ki making quick work of Cyrielle Coutry in their first match of the day, dispatching the French archer as expected in straight sets. So after sorting things out in the semifinals and coming up just a bit short in her shoot-off with Deepika Kumari, Mexico's best hope for a medal was back on the line facing China's Cui Yuan. Just 18 years old, Alejandra Valencia is a veteran on the World Cup circuit, the Olympics, and the Pan Am Games. The credentials for Cui Yuan, one of the rare victories over Korea's Yoon Ki, a gold medal performance on Konyaaltı Beach that made for an impressive debut in her World Cup archery career. The newcomer from China continued to impress, scoring the first 4 points of this match with Valencia, who did win the third set to trail by 2. We pick up the action with Cui Yuan on top 4-2. Valencia aiming high, perhaps a bit too high. But Cui was even more off target on her first shot of the fourth set. Advantage Valencia, who squanders this opportunity with an 8 of her own.
Ocho, un poco flojo el tiro, Ale. Mantén la fuerza,
Cui gets closer to the center on her second attempt, so the set is tied at 17 all. Valencia can extend the match with a bullseye, but a 9 does not buy her any guarantees. Her Chinese challenger bails her out. Another 9 means a tie in the fourth set. So they split the points, and the lead goes to 5-3. Valencia would have to win the fifth set to force a shoot-off, her only hope of winning the bronze medal. That's the start she needs, touching the line for a 10. And her chances improve when Cui records a 9. 2 more 10s from the Mexican, and she's going to shoot off, but once again, a 9 means nothing's guaranteed. Cui can't seem to come up with the kill shot either. So Valencia's still got life. Shoot a bullseye and she wins the set. Shoot a 9 and you're playing with fire. She finally gets burned when Cui Yuan finally lands her third shot on the line. It's a 10. She ties the set, splits the points, and that puts her over the top for a hard-earned victory. After striking gold at stage 2 and medaling in Medellin, China's newest star comes through in her first World Cup final appearance. Cui Yuan is the bronze medalist, defeating Mexico's Alejandra Valencia in 5 tough sets. And then there were 2. By surviving a shoot-off with Valencia, Deepika Kumari earned the right to compete for a gold medal in the World Cup final for the 3rd year in a row. She had already settled for silver in Istanbul and then again last year in Tokyo. Could she finally break through in Paris? It wouldn't be easy. It never is. Especially now that Ki is back on the scene after a 2-year break from the World Cup circuit. The Korean captured the gold medal at this event back in 2010, won a bronze medal at the Summer Games in Beijing, and then won a pair of gold medals this summer in Shanghai and Poland. Her record in match play, an outstanding mark of 14-1. But as we pick up the action after 2 sets, it's India's Kumari who's in control, leading 3-1 after splitting the second set. On this cool, overcast, calm day along the River Seine, the Korean is cool, calm, and collected. For that matter, so is Kumari, who casually collects 10 more points. Ki would be A-OK after bearing down for a bullseye. And she'd be in even better shape after a 9 by Kumari leaves the set knotted up at 19 all. The Korean raises the bar with another bullseye. But this is where things start breaking bad for Kumari. Unable to take her third shot in time, she drops the set, and the match is now tied at 3 apiece. Beneath those still waters of the Trocadero fountains, the tide was shifting in this gold medal match. Ki could sense this, and she was about to take control, shooting a 10. Kumari's confidence seems to have been shaken by the missed shot. An 8 now has her reeling. On the other hand, Yoon seems emboldened by this turn of events and continues her solid shooting. Deepika digs down deep and regains her composure, shooting a courageous 9. That will not keep Ki at bay. She puts the fourth set out of reach with another 9. So, this bullseye by Kumari can't change the outcome of this set. It belongs to Korea, along with a 5-3 lead in the match. Ki has gone from 2 down to 2 up, heading for the 5th set and quite possibly a gold medal. Kumari seems to be back on track. But it all took just a few bad arrows to change the complexion of this contest. The duel continues, with Kumari fighting and hoping her opponent might make a mistake. That's not likely. Ki's been there and done that on many occasions. She can keep score and is well aware of the fact she needs one more point to put Kumari away. Deepika shows what she's made of and competes to the very end, but the margin for error is very slim in a World Cup final gold medal match, especially against someone as savvy and crafty as Korea's Yuno Ki. That final dagger brings an end to the battle. They split the set and the points, and that puts Yuno Ki over the top. After going off the radar screen for the past 2 years, she returns with a vengeance and dominates the women's recurve category in the year 2013. I really was only focused on my shooting. I did not think about my opponent's missed shot, so I shot very well. And in the end, I came away with the win.
Paris is one of the most known cities in the world, so it's impossible to miss Paris for a big event. So we are very proud to be in Paris, and especially why here? The Eiffel Tower. This tower, the Trocadero Fountain, I think is the most known iconic building in the world. Whenever you see something like that, it's the Eiffel Tower, so it's not better venue in the world that you can do this like here. So it's very easy. The French Federation proposed it. We tried to go to the Camp de Mars, which is close to the Eiffel Tower, but at the end they proposed the Trocadero venue, which we are very proud to be here in this location. The first challenge is we are in the middle of a big city, so traffic, public access is quite challenging. Bringing the equipment in and out has been quite complicated, but it's not easy, but has happened, thanks God. The second challenge is the levels. Trocadero is in a slope of 5 degrees, so everything that is in a slope, we need to put it flat for the archers. So it has been quite challenging to put the structures, to put the training side or the warm-up area, the competition field. So we had to work with levels and platforms. That has been the biggest challenge for working here. For the archers, the biggest challenge will be the emotion. Being in an iconic place like this, shooting to the targets when they want to see the Eiffel Tower is a bit challenging. I would say that for public, this is an open space. We need to have the area open. Archers practice in one side, but have to cross public space to come to the competition field. So that will be one of the areas that is a bit unusual. The second is we shoot in platforms, and sometimes they are not perfectly level. So the feeling that the archers has is they're shooting in different heights. Even if it's different, it's very little, but having levels and platform make them feel they're shooting a bit down, a bit up. Having said that, our archers are very used to go to this kind of challenges, as we have seen during the season, and I think as soon as the competition started, we'll focus on the center and all this disappear.
No mixed emotions in Paris about the pair of athletes representing France in the mixed team gold medal match. Gaël Prévost and Cyril Cottry getting a rock star roar from the sellout crowd at Trocadero. But the cheering would die down quickly with the sobering knowledge they were up against the dynamic duo of Yuno Ki and Oh Jin-hyuk, the two top-ranked athletes in recurve competition. As a nation, Korean mixed teams had already medaled in Shanghai and Wrocław, Poland. So the French had a formidable task on their hands. After 3 ends, there's a lot of daylight between these two teams. Be that as it may, Prévost puts one down the middle. And Cottry continues her solid effort with a 9. The Big O answers with another big shot. And his teammate Yuno Ki keeps hammering away.
Final 2 arrows for the match.
Prévost may not medal in this event, but he proves his mettle with another direct hit. At this level of play, though, you simply cannot afford to bring a knife to a gunfight. Korea's got all guns blazing, Yuno Ki and Oh Jin-hyuk firing on all 8 cylinders. It's yet another dominating victory for the land of the morning calm. Korea KOs France, winning all 4 ends and ultimately winning the match and the gold medal by a dozen points. The final score in this one, 152 for Korea, 140 for France. Back to the quarterfinal action on the men's side of the ledger. This is Khairul Anwar Mohammed, the first Malaysian archer to ever reach a World Cup final. He's up against Korea's Lee Sung-yeon, who also is making his first appearance in a World Cup final. After splitting the first 2 sets, Mr. Lee moves ahead, leads by 2 points, heading down the stretch. Mohammed had come to the mountain but found this one too high to climb. Lee Seung-yeon would ensure his country would have 2 athletes reaching the semifinals in Paris. Mr. Lee taking the measure of his Malaysian opponent, 7-3 the final score in this match. A year ago in London, Moro Nespoli was winning an Olympic team gold medal. 12 months later, he's on his own here in Paris, facing the always dangerous Dai Zhao. Nespoli drops the first 2 sets, wins the next set, but finds himself in trouble here in the 4th set. All of his shots sailing high into the atmosphere. The 25-year-old Italian seems resigned to his fate, and Dai does his work quickly, putting Moro out of his misery. Shot, set, match to Mr. Dai, who lives to fight another day. Dai Zhao dispatches Moro Nespoli 6-2. Zhang Jianping had high hopes of joining his Chinese teammate in the semifinals, but on paper he had a tougher pairing, taking on Brady Ellison of the United States. This had been a challenging season for Brady as he recovered from a broken hand, but it would become even more challenging as his bowstring was about to break early in the match. With help from coach Mel Nichols, Brady built a 2-point lead over Mr. Zhang and closed him out in the 4th set, going 10-10-10 using a bowstring that could have snapped on any given shot. But Brady holds it together mentally with a little help from up above. That set the stage for what would prove to be one of the most dramatic battles. Gaël Prévost wasn't exactly an ordinary wildcard entry. He was ranked 12th in the world and owned a victory over Oh Jin-hyuk. But that was 2 years ago in 2011. Since then, Mr. O's emerged as the man to beat. Prévost seems intent on doing just that. Oh seems up for the challenge in a 5th set that finds him holding a precarious 2-point edge. Prévost pounds the gold paint in the center of that target and applies pressure on the Olympic gold medalist from London. There's a reason O wound up on top of the podium at Lord's Cricket, but Gaël Prévost isn't impressed or intimidated by the Korean's credentials. Dies. He's done all he can to force a shoot-off. Now it's up to Mr. O, who can't believe his eyes after he releases that arrow. France rejoices as we get set for the 1-arrow shoot-off that could eliminate the tournament's top seed. By virtue of his higher rank, O has the advantage of shooting first, but still not shooting up to his usual standards. He is at great risk of going home early. But that depends on Monsieur Prévost, who ends the suspense with an 8. That bursts the bubble and takes the air out of this sellout crowd in Paris. Talk about the one that got away. Prévost stood as tall as the Eiffel Tower, going toe-to-toe with the best in the biz, but just could not come up with the knockout punch. Speaking of suspense, there was more in store in the bronze medal match, and once again it involved one of Korea's finest. Lee Seung-yeon had struggled in his semifinal showdown with China's Dai Zhao, but he also looked impressive in his quarterfinal victory over Malaysia's Anwar Mohammed. He'd need to be on top of his game against America's Brady Ellison, who played with fire in his opening match, holding his breath as his bowstring held together just long enough to beat Zhang Jianping. Now he could turn his full attention to the target and his 18-year-old opponent. Coach Mel Nichols back in the box as the skies grew ever darker over La Tour Eiffel. Lee Seung-yeon's trying to stake his claim to this valuable piece of real estate, not to mention the bronze medal. He's up by 2 after 3 sets, but the fun is just about to begin for Brady. For Mr. Lee, not so much. A 9 puts him behind in the set. Ellison adds a little more fuel to the fire with back-to-back bullseyes, while the Korean kicks it back into high gear, trying to keep pace. But Ellison's in the zone now, and the set belongs to Brady. No matter what Lee scores, the match is going to be tied for the first time at 4 points apiece. Anybody's game at this point, it's all up for grabs. Lee Sung-yeon takes a hold of the fifth set with a superb opening shot. But the man with the bright yellow shoes lands one in the bright yellow circle, and we're all even again. The Korean can put Ellison in a very uncomfortable position with a bullseye. But he lands this shot in the neighborhood of 9. Now he's at the mercy of the American. Brady Ellison moves another step closer to a spot on the podium. Lee Sung-yeon keeps the heat on with another 10-point shot. So Ellison's got to come through with a bullseye for the bronze. But that would be too easy. A 9 forces a shoot-off as the two are now tied at 5-all after 15 excruciating arrows. Last chance, 1 arrow closest to the center, winner takes all, Lee goes first, and once a mulligan. That 8 leaves the gate wide open for Brady, and Ellison completes the comeback. X marks the spot, and the Babe Ruth of American archery hits a home run on his last at-bat. After a long summer full of trials and tribulations, Brady Ellison completes his World Cup campaign, hitting a high note in Paris as he pulls one out of the fire in a scintillating shoot-off. The drama of that bronze medal match would be a tough act to follow for China's Dai Zhang and Korea's Oh Jin-yek. Dai's got the experience to pull off an upset. He took the gold at Stage 3 in Medellin, won a bronze medal at the London Summer Games, and a silver medal at the World Cup Finals 2 years ago in Turkey. 6-1 in match play this year. He'd also won his only previous meeting with Mr. O. But that was then, and this is now. And right now, Oh Jin-yek is just about unbeatable. Brady Ellison could not do it in the semis, and while Gael Prévost came as close as anyone to pulling off that trick, Oh Jin-yek somehow worked his magic and found a way to escape, keeping his gold medal dream alive and well at Trocadero. As we pick up the action, Oh and Dai divide the first 2 sets. So, as we look at the scores, we're even at 2 apiece, heading for Act 3. The Big O about to assert himself. That shot sends a not-so-subtle message that things are about to change. Not right away, as Dai Zhang's able to match that 10 by Mr. O. But this imposing figure is about to impose his will on this duel with Dai, who's just a bit off target on this shot. But a slight break is all it takes for O. Like a shark smelling blood in the water, the Korean goes for the kill shot, and just like that, a disconcerted Dai Zhang is down by a deuce. Advantage Oh Jin-yek, who is once again on top by 2 after 3 sets of play. Now Dai is down, but he is certainly not out. Win the set, and he's got a shot at winning a shoot-off. This, however, is not how you get there. The road to ruin is paved with 8s, and the road to heaven, paved with 10s. The seas are getting choppy and rough for the Chinese marksman. Still, it's not all smooth sailing for Mr. O. Now, it's a do-or-die situation. Dai Zhang must come up with a big shot, and they don't come much bigger than that. A bullseye will win it for Korea, but nobody's perfect, not even Oh Jin-yek. Then 9 buys some time for Dai, who splits that set, splits the points, and stays alive to fight on in the match. The lead goes to 5-3. Oh Jin-yek still on top by 2. Round 5 starts off with a 9 by Dai, who immediately provides an opening for his opponent. Oh Jin-yek's perfectly capable of making his own breaks. Bullseye for the big guy. 1 shot down, 2 shots to go for the gold medal. After a surprising 7 from a mentally drained Dai Zhang, it appears the outcome's no longer in doubt. Oh confirms that inkling with a solid shot. A shot followed by Dai Zhang's valiant last jab at Oh Jin-yek. But he can't connect with a knockout blow. Then again, nobody else could either. With surgical precision, the Big O completes another successful operation and finally breaks out a big smile. He's through the obstacle course here in Paris. Eugene Yuk, the 2013 Men's Recurve World Cup gold medalist.
글쎄요, 그거는 저도 모르고.
Obviously, everybody knows that I am only so strong, and like anybody else, I'm human. I could lose a match, but I am still strong, and I did win again today. So, we will see.
좋은 경기 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Congratulations to Eugene Yuk, Yuno Ki, and all who came to compete in Paris at a World Cup final that will long be remembered.